Sardonyx has a talk show. Sardonyx has a talk show. Sardonyx has a talk show. Sardonyx! Okay, no.
Okay, but were you surprised at that development? Were you really?
Yes, I was. Why would Sardonyx have a talk show?
She wears a tuxedo and she speaks like a talk show host. Is she voiced by a talk show host?
Who knows?
I'm actually legitimately concerned at this point that she's voiced by a talk show host. I need to double check this. I mean, I know Smokey Quartz, the other beautiful person in this episode, is voiced by a gay prisoner. Well, not really, but you know, Orange is the New Black.
So, same thing.
Yeah. I got a bunch of actresses from Orange is the New Black on it now, actually.
Cool.
I'm gonna keep looking at the voice voice casting. There we go. You do the episode summary while I find out who voices her.
Cool. This episode is Know Your Fusion. Steven and Amethyst fuse again to showcase Smoky Quartz. And Pearl and Garnet are impressed and surprised, let's say. Pearl and Garnet fuse Sardonyx and invite them to her special room that can only exist when she exists. It's bizarrely a talk show, and she ends up talking with them. I don't know.
I think Smoky Quartz is a them. I think most people are going with them.
Okay. To figure out what Smoky Quartz is all about, they try to see how they match up abilities to other fusions and can't quite measure up. But when they realize Sardonyx is needlessly overshadowing them, Sardonyx defuses, which causes the room to start to collapse, and Smoky Quartz has to save them. They escape, all unfused, and Steven and Amethyst explain what happened when they first fused against Jasper. And that's how the episode ends, I suppose.
It's a pretty fun episode, especially just because the whole thing is Sardonyx and Smoky Quartz. Also turns out Alexia Kadim is not a talk show host, but she's a really good stage actress. She's been Nala in The Lion King, Elphaba in Wicked, Eponine in Les Mis, and Nabelungi in Book of Mormon. Wow. Okay.
Cool.
So, not a talk show host, but a hella good actress. Well, if she's done so much musical theatre, no wonder she has such a good voice.
Yes. Actually, a lot of the voices in the Steven universe are from the States. That I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know quite a few of them are professional singers.
Yes.
So, unsurprisingly.
To this day, I'm still stunned that that's where Lapis came from and she's not just an anime voice actress.
Oh yeah, they're good people. Oh yeah, I was so happy when I realised this episode was gonna be them introducing Smoky Quartz to Pearl and Garnet, because Steven's never fused with another gem before.
No, he hasn't.
And their faces are so... I mean, Garnet is so happy. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, she just holds her head and starts screaming happily because she can't contain her sheer joy.
Pearl's reaction was amazing. She just screamed, "Oh, what?"
And then she, for a while I couldn't tell if she looked terrified or overjoyed, but when Garnet just picks her up and starts shaking her because she can't contain her joy, Pearl starts laughing, and it's so cute. They're all so happy.
Yeah, yes, they are.
It's adorable.
It was the most over-the-top energetic scene in maybe the entire series.
It was just an outpouring of pure joy, because Smoky Quartz is so proud to be them, and Garnet is so proud of her babies forming happy consensual fusions. Like, it's like remember her happy grin when she saw Stavoni for the first time?
Yes.
Oh, it makes her so happy. And, Pearl is so proud of them, too.
There's actually a little thing that I didn't notice the first time that someone pointed out, is that Smoky Quartz said something like, "Better put them back up, because I'm gonna knock your socks off." And Pearl's socks are literally down, and she has to pull them back up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes. There's just so much energy and screaming and everything.
Oh, I know. I was watching it with the biggest grin on my face going, oh. Because I was just so happy.
That was an unexpected twist that Sardonyx would have her own room. That's a...
I actually think it actually makes sense because, I mean, Garnet has her own room that appears in response to Ruby and Sapphire's gems.
Yes, but to be fair, like, that room was presumably made for these crystal gems specifically. So, like, it would be made for that. Whereas, like, it doesn't have a symbol for any of the, other fusions, so you wouldn't immediately think that.
Well, the door doesn't have a symbol for Garnet either. It has 5 gems on it. It has, the Rose Quartz one, I guess. It has a pearl, an amethyst, a ruby, and a sapphire. If you watch any time Garnet's going into a room, it's the ruby and the sapphire light up.
Garnet is still considered one of the main gems as is. Like, her identity is Garnet at the end of the day, so it's obvious. But she has 2 gems, so that's how her room kind of has to work. Whereas, like, this one just, like, came out of nowhere, like even the door, like, turns into a weird curtain.
Oh, yeah. I was watching the door when they went through, and it's the ruby, the sapphire, and the pearl that light up, so I'm glad they kept that consistent.
When she entered the room, because she was so big, it kind of reminded me of something from, like, Alice in Wonderland with the tiny door.
Yeah. Other thing I noticed about Sardonyx in this episode that I haven't noticed before, I think it's because she spent a lot of time crouching down and she kept doing these 360 spins of her upper body. She's actually very beetle-like. Like, we've only seen her very briefly before in standing up, but when she was crouching and scuttling around, I think it's because of the multiple limbs and, like, the way that her lower body is shaped with her coat. She looks like a bit like a large beetle.
Huh, I never thought of it like that.
I was happy to see Sardonyx because I quite enjoy her. That was just something I really hadn't noticed before.
Yeah.
Also, just going back to the temple, now I'm just wondering, what the fuck is the temple? How is it made? Like, is it normal on Homeworld to have gem homes that have, like, just, like, magically ether-formed rooms that exist only when their inhabitant exists? Like, it's... Oh, I know what it is! I just realized what this room reminds me of. Room of Requirement in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah!
Like, is the Room of Requirement a normal thing on Homeworld? Is this something that got made up on Earth? How? By who? What?
For what purpose?
Yeah.
What is with the Crystal Heart?
Yeah. Oh, good bloody question. What is with the Crystal Heart? Is it something to do with why the temple looks like...
It's now been 100 episodes, I believe. 100 episodes since we've mentioned the Crystal Heart.
I mean, the temple looks like a truly gigantic fusion, and it has a giant stone sword lying in the sea. Like, anytime we've gotten a look at the bottom of the sea around there, have you noticed the giant stone sword lying down there?
I don't think so.
It first appears in the first episode where Connie appears when they wander around the seafloor in a bubble. Like, I didn't notice it the first time I saw this episode, but went back and saw it. They walk past this... it looks sort of like a pillar on its side, but much later when Lapis shows up and she draws out the sea and you get like an aerial shot of all the seabed around Beach City, you can see there is a fucking massive sword just half buried in the seabed. And it's about the right size to be wielded by a gem the size of the one that the temple looks like. So, like, some people theorize that the temple looks like a giant fusion, but, like, what if it somehow is a giant fusion that's just turned to stone and magic and what the fuck? Like, this is on the level with Lion for things that nobody is questioning, and I need questions to be asked about it. I need answers.
We all need answers.
And I'm sure we'll get them, and they'll be amazing when we get them. Just, what the fuck?
What is it?
What is going on?
Maybe they've secretly had us like a Power Rangers Zord all along.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Other things I didn't notice before. Sardonyx's finger stripes. They're adorable. This is completely not on the level with the questions I just had. I just think it's very, very cute. I think it's very cool that she has finger stripes.
Exciting.
So yeah, then they go into Sardonyx has a TV show because of course she does.
Of course she does. I like how both of them just burying Jasper. That was funny.
And yeah, and when the crowd's laughing and Smoky Quartz is like, where do you get them? Nice crowd, where do you get them? And so now she's just like, I made them myself. And the face Smoky Quartz makes. And the slightly creepy way that Sardonyx says it.
I loved Empire City in the background. Great touch.
I know, it's fantastic.
And as it went on, it had like some amazing jokes. I want to know the yo-you!
Which, on the one hand, I do find it pretty adorable. They exist entirely of yo-yos and puns. Let's find out when they exist entirely of yo-yos and puns. Let's find out what else there is to you.
I think at one point, she throws something at the crowd, and you hear the Wilhelm scream.
Oh my god, I actually got mad at that point. I was like, oh, they've gotten this far, and then they used the fucking Wilhelm scream.
Amazing.
Fuck off. Just, oh, okay, because, you know, I'm an obsessive person who watches way too many movies, right?
Sure.
So I'm at the point where I've heard the Wilhelm scream so many times in my life that I now hate it every time I hear it. It throws me right out. I'm just like, what cheap fucker thought they needed to put that in there? I will go scream for you instead of using that scream. I don't know why it makes me so angry, but it really does. Oh.
That is a bit overused.
A bit. A bit.
Just a little.
That's like saying love triangles are a bit overused.
Just a little bit.
That's like saying it rains a little much in Scotland.
It's like saying the universe is a little bit big. It's like saying these examples are going on a little too long. Don't those cartoon characters make you want to buy those products? I sure hope so, or else I'll be off air.
Oh god, yeah. I feel like the secret of Sardonyx's room is that it just goes right through the fourth wall.
Yes.
The bit where they start referring to the different fusions, and when Sujilite comes up, they're like, because everybody likes a callback, she's not actually in this episode. Do we have to pay her?
Yes, fair enough.
So to be fair, Nikki's probably pretty expensive. That's probably why Sujilite is almost never there and barely talks when she is.
That's amazing.
Nicki Minaj's voice probably costs a fortune.
And I love how they just directly say that they have to pay her. That's amazing.
I guess Sardonyx's extra power. She doesn't care about the fourth wall. She's a show woman. She knows she's in a cartoon. She's got a show to do.
Yeah.
She knows she's in a cartoon made by anime nerds. That's why she laughs like that.
Yes, exactly.
She has the oh ho 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 one from 12 million and 5 anime.
Yeah. Pretty sure anime don't even do that anymore. It's the irony. Like that's like a 90s thing.
I think the only thing I've seen it in years is Magic Kaito, and that's like an anime adaptation of a 25-year-old manga.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. I love the when they do the scenes from the previous episodes. Footage courtesy of Cartoon Network.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. I suppose that's actually a pretty fun way of reminding people all the fusions are. It's a bit, you know, instead of a previously on Steven Universe beginning of season thing, they do this quick rundown of all the fusions we've met before, which is quite nice. But it is the point where you start going, okay, but Smokey isn't the same fusion as Opal, she isn't the same fusion as Sujilite, she isn't the same fusion as... I forgot her name and I haven't written it down.
Alexandrite.
Right, there we go. You know, she's not the same fusion as any of them. They're not the same fusion as any of those other gems. Smoky Quartz is something entirely new. Come on, Garnet, you in there. You're the one who had the whole song about making something entirely new. I feel like Smoky Quartz's extra power is just puns, like entirely puns. The endless flow of puns.
I am amused that the Alexandrite test thing with the target was called Breath of Fire. Because I thought, well, I didn't think I would ever get to make a Breath of Fire joke. But then I realized I had no idea how to make a Breath of Fire joke.
My only comment is that Breath of Fire is not a particularly original name for a fire-breathing thing.
No, it isn't. It certainly is not.
It is pretty cute. Smoky Quartz tries to do fire-breathing and just burps. Why is that cute? Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
And then it goes from being really, really funny to smacking you upside the head with feelings, because Smoky Quartz has all of Amethyst and Steven's anxiety about not being good enough rolled up into one. And Sardonyx has a breakdown because they realise she's being a show stealer, because, she does that. But she's like, oh shit, the kids want me to show something fun and I made it about me. Which is... oh, that was actually a quite legit breakdown.
Yeah. Well, literal breakdown.
Yeah, because it literally breaks apart and then the room starts falling apart because Sardonyx isn't around anymore.
Yes.
Whoops.
What would have happened if they stayed there? Would they have just non-existences?
No more season 4.
I guess. The rest of the season would just be a sad look at the empty house.
Yeah. I'd just be Lapis and Peridot in their barn, watching TV shows and shipping gay ships and entirely unaware of anything that's going on.
Yes.
But yeah, but then when they break apart and then they're praising Steven and Amethyst for, Smoky Quartz saves them, and then finally, Pearl and Garnet are praising Steven and Amethyst, and Pearl tells Amethyst she's a good influence on Steven. That's, oh god, I almost wanted to cry about how sweet that was, especially because, you go back to the beginning and Pearl talks a lot of shit about Amethyst a lot of the time. But it's clear that Amethyst she looks up to Pearl and she doesn't want to admit it. So Pearl telling her she's a good influence, especially with all of Amethyst's concern about not being good enough, is just so important. Oh, it's so sweet.
Yes, it is. I think the best I heard about what happened towards the end is that, so we do know Smoky Quartz's other ability. It's crippling self-doubt!
Oh god. Basically.
I do love that they fuse together to be stronger, and now they have double the amount of insecurities. Hooray!
Yay! But they also have a fucking sweet yo-yo.
Yes.
So, it all evens out, I guess?
I guess, yes.
And an infinite well of puns. And super cute hair. Like, I love Smoky Quartz's hair.
Yes.
And freckles. Oh, Smoky Quartz is just so cute.
And 3 arms.
And they have 3 arms, yeah. And they can lick all 3 of their elbows, apparently.
Cool.
Oh, that was one of the things they brought up in their talk show when they were asked what they can do. And they're just like, I can lick my elbows.
Brilliant.
Precious child.
So, something this episode made me think is like, kind of makes me interested in where they're going, because my assumption is that because of this, eventually we're going to have similar stories with Pearl and Garnet, where they eventually fuse with Steven after character development and things.
I hope so.
Gonna do with Pearl.
Uh-oh. What are they gonna do with Pearl?
Well, gonna do with Pearl.
Uh-oh. What are they gonna do with Pearl?
Well, you know how Steven has said before that he doesn't talk about Rose with the gems too much because he worries that they resent him for being Rose. So yeah, so expect all of that.
Oh dear.
Because I think in that case, I think more of the problem will be with Steven. Because I don't think Pearl actually resents him. But he's just, terrified of the thought. And he's just there's your future feels.
See, I don't think she consciously or willingly resents him, but I think there's some resent in there. And she doesn't like it. Which is why she tries so hard to work with and for Steven.
Yeah, basically.
But it's really just bad. I think it's just really badly channeled her over losing Rose Quartz. Actually, I just had a thought. With Steven and Pearl's fusion, would that just be Rainbow Quartz again, but looking different?
Yeah, it might be. It might just be a less feminine looking Rainbow Quartz. Rainbow Quartz Steven edition.
Yeah. That would be cool. But now I wonder what Steven's fusion with Garnet would be. I'm assuming something quartz, but...
Actually, it'd be cool because of the 80s-ness of it all, if the Steven version of Rainbow Quartz, sort of like a hair metal singer.
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
That'd be awesome. Someday we need a fusion where they attack with the power of guitar. It'd be awesome.
Oh, the power of rock.
Yes.
I mean, with the random mishmash of powers that Steven has appearing, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he could actually weaponize him singing rock music.
The power of rock and the power of rock.
Oh god, I didn't even realize the pun. Oh my god. I didn't even do that on purpose. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
I'd say better. For me.
Oh. I don't have much more to say. I've said I was just happy and noticed a lot of interesting things and generally makes me happy.
Yes.
And see, every episode that makes... So far we have 2 for 2 on episodes that make me happy instead of sad at the end, so now I'm just concerned that the longer this goes on, the harder I feel like it's going to hit when they finally do something designed to destroy us emotionally.
Yeah, I guess so. Another thing I've been thinking about is that for a while I've been considering that the series could probably end fine. It's 5 seasons, but I think especially after that Amethyst episode, I feel like they have a lot more they could really do just through trying all these different fusions and stories with them.
Yeah, because it's also a really interesting way to explore the characters. Like, what do these characters have in common?
Yeah.
You know?
And it took like three or 4 episodes of build-up before we got Smoky Quartz, so you could probably just do that with like a ton of fusions. I mean, Lapis only fused with Jasper, and Peridot hasn't fused with anyone even.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Lapis wants to fuse again.
I guess so.
I wouldn't blame her if she didn't want to fuse ever again, but it would also be cute if she... well, not cute because it would be emotionally horrible, but like if they're in a severe battle situation and she fused with like Steven or somebody to help save the day.
I think Steven would be the only one she'd be okay with fusing, honestly.
I think so. And even then, I think she just... I mean, her last fusion was so horribly traumatic. I couldn't blame her for not wanting to fuse ever again. And Peridot might want to try again. Like, I still love the way that episode is handled, where Garnet is teaching Peridot about fusion, and she offers to help her fuse for the first time, and then Peridot finally gets nervous and backs out, and Garnet's like, yeah, it's okay. Like, that episode was so well done.
Yes, it is.
I mean, they can stretch this metaphor so far without breaking it.
Yeah, basically. I think that time mostly worked because Garnet was just so casual.
That's probably Sapphire's influence.
Probably.
That's probably Sapphire's influence.
Probably. We've run out of things to talk about in this episode, so once we've started talking about anything else...
Everything else.
Everything. Everything.
All things. Yeah, but seriously, I don't have anything else here.
Me either. It was fun, though.
No, I still continue to enjoy this show. Basically.